Hello everyone, this is Sweet Lou Jeff Luzado with another edition of Southport Athletics, and we're with Clinton Frank, the strength coach here at Southport. And Clint, I really appreciate your time. Quite a room you got here. Let's talk a little bit about yourself, how you got to be strength coach. You mentioned off camera you've been here 3 years.
Yep.
Where'd you graduate from, and how you got involved to be a strength coach?
Sure. Well, after high school, I joined the United States Marine Corps, did 5 years active duty there. That's when I really loved lifting weights and training just to make my body better, getting stronger and better as a Marine. And when I was getting out, I decided to pursue a career in physical fitness. And I researched, and Ball State was closest to home. So I enrolled in their exercise science program. Got a bachelor's in exercise science, and then went on to get my master's, where I spent time as the graduate assistant for strength and conditioning.
Now, I talked off camera that I was going to ask you, but at one time, how many people are in here?
We have a period right now that's all football players. Obviously, some of them football players play other sports, but it's a period strictly for all football players. We'll have upwards of 60, 70 athletes in here at one time in one period.
Now, I've seen on some of the infomercials on television and stuff like that, but do you have obviously set up goals for these football players, and then you end up having a contest amongst themselves?
The contest, usually we'll have some fun days here and there where they'll compete, but basically we're just trying to build a base of strength. And it's with high school athletes, we lack strength, it's high school, at the high school age. So we try to build a base of strength, and then we will max out at certain points in the year to kind of see where we're at with our strength levels, to see if we've gotten better or worse, and then kind of adjust what we're doing from there.
Now, I want to put you on the spot as far as paperwork, but I don't see a secretary or anything like that. Do you keep track of, say, we'll just use Mr. Hubert as an example. He's a junior on the football team,
sure,
and he's in here lifting in the off season. Do you keep notes of how much he's lifted, and then say, hey Pete, you can go to this goal during the off season?
Absolutely. When we max out, I'll have a roster of all the players, all the student athletes, and I'll track it in an Excel document, all their weights and everything. And the way that I program is based off of those maxes that they hit. So for example, we'll max out on squat, bench, and deadlift, and when we come back in for the next lift, we will do a percentage of those 1 rep maxes to make sure that they're always getting better at it.
Now, as far as precautions, and of course I graduated 42 years ago. We didn't have a weight room at the high school I was at.
Sure.
But what precautions are you taking around here? And obviously, I mentioned off camera, you've probably got some spotters, not only just you, but some other athletes, if somebody's on their back and lifting. Can you talk a little bit about those precautions?
Absolutely. It's an inherently a dangerous place in here. Weights are flying everywhere. I preach safety, safety, safety. When there's 60, 70 kids in here, you have to play it safe. My students know that at all times they need a spotter. I teach them how to spot properly, obviously how to lift properly. We'll have a few football coaches in here will be helping out. The wrestling coaches in here during that period helping out. So yeah, we preach safety, safety, safety in here.
Now, do you get into the how I want to say it, the description of somebody comes in at the beginning of the off season and you're measuring, they give us you're measuring their muscle, and then toward the end, again, is that part of the statistics, whatever, or are you taking a picture of Pete puny Pete Hubert over there, and then 6 weeks later, you're taking another picture, and hey, Pete, you did great, I can tell. You didn't build up yourself.
At this level, I don't worry about those kind of things. Just because we have a student athlete that has lots of muscle doesn't mean he can move very well, or it doesn't mean that they're very strong. So to me, looks aren't that big of a deal in here. Can the athlete move well? Are they getting stronger? And at this age group, with a lot of these athletes playing three sports, they're burning so many calories, and it's hard to keep weight on them. So as long as their performance is going up, then that's all that we care about.
Now you mentioned about food and stuff like that, keeping all the protein and stuff in them and stuff like that. Do you monitor that kind of stuff too with what they're doing in this room?
I'll lecture on nutrition every once in a while. Kids always have the questions, what should I be eating? We try to lecture a little bit on what to eat, how much to eat. We'll have a lesson. There's an app called MyFitnessPal that we've asked all the football players and athletes to download to help them keep track of what they're eating, how many calories they're eating. And it's a tool that helps them, track what they've been eating and how much to eat. So.
And again, this is just kind of pricking your brain a little bit here, but I'm a freshman football player and I come in here. And Pete Hubert is the head coach. What is he going to tell you, or do you already have by looking at Jeff Luzader over there? As a football coach, what does he want you to do to make Jeff Luzader look better?
Sure.
And again, I'm pointing out looks, and you said no, that's not. But you're going to obviously, first time you're going to set some goals and see if Jeff can reach those. Correct?
Yeah, sure. When we get kids in here, and even kids that I've had before, I like to start with the basics. Maybe they've taken some time off. We'll come in here and we'll just have them go through some basic movement patterns. They should be able to squat well. They should just be able to lunge well, overhead press well. And those are things that I look for as I'm teaching. So I'll teach the kids how to do the movement correctly, and then we just kind of visually assess what can I do to get this kid to move more efficiently. The strength will come. We're not asking these kids to get as strong as they can in a month's time or even a year's time. We have 4 years with these kids, and we're going to develop them over those 4 years. So.
And are there any, and I'm talking about the whole picture, do you go by any standards? And it tells you how much I know about lifting weights, but if Jeff Luzader is 150 pounds,
sure.
Do you already have in your mind, hey, he can bench press such and such? Are there any guidelines that you go by in your head or written down in a book somewhere, or in general, the weightlifting community has put forth to say, hey, 150-pound guys should be able to do this, or are those kind of things in place?
There are some guidelines that strength professionals have put out over the years. You'll never find any two that are alike. Usually, there's one kind of general one out there that says that you should be able to bench press 1.5 times body weight. You should be able to squat 2 times body weight, and you should be able to deadlift 2.5 times your body weight. And if you can hit those numbers, which I think they're a little high for this level, for the high school level, then those are excellent numbers. So yeah, there are some standards that we can go by.
Now, last question. I'm sure with the girls playing too, this is not what I want to call a macho room. You get gals in here too.
Absolutely.
Are there little things that you have to do as a strength coach, having gals in here, and I'm not putting gals down, but just, they're different. They're female and you got male, but are there different things that you do in here differently between a female and a male?
Sure, great question. To me, an athlete's an athlete. I don't look at you as being male or female. They're both capable of doing the same things. So if you come in here, one period I have guys and girls basketball in here. The girls aren't doing anything different than the guys are doing. And over the years that I've been doing this, I have found actually that female athletes are most of the time better at lifting than male athletes. And I think it comes from the female athletes will listen. They want to do things correctly, and then you get a bunch of male athletes that think they know everything, and they've been to the gym and on their own or whatever, so they don't listen as well as I think female athletes do. So it's great. it's great to have all the females in here with the males. So.
Well, you got quite a facility here, Clint. So you got a fan running back there. I'm sure you get a lot of people sweating and all that good stuff. Again, I didn't do any of this, but you got a lot of different things in here. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Hey, this is Sweet Lou Jeff Lozada with Clinton Frank, the strength coach here at Southport High School. So long, everyone.